Well, hey everybody, coming to you today from Eastern Tennessee, my new home city. And I figured I'd do a quick video here on focusing on your gifts and your strengths as you go into the paralegal field. One of the things I want you to do, and you know I talk about this a lot, is to get a inexpensive Dollar Tree notebook or one from your local supermarket if they have a sale on one of those. Don't spend a lot of money on these. And use it to draw a line down the center of the page and focus on writing down what your gifts are, what you're bringing to the table. What are your strengths in an office situation, or if you've never worked in an office, what have been your strengths, the things that you have discovered that you're pretty good at in other jobs that you've worked in. For me, I had no idea that I was good in the retail field until I worked in it, and I could talk with customers and get across to them that I'm there to serve them. And whether they were, friendly or not, I was there to try to get them what they needed. So this will come in handy. If you've worked in retail, one of your strengths, if you've enjoyed working in retail, is then helping the customer. That's going to transition into helping the client. Now, the person that you interview with may not understand how valuable that is, but you have to understand it. So when you're writing down your gifts and your strengths, what is it that you do well? On the other side, write down what you need to improve. We could call them weaknesses at the moment, but I like to say things that need improvement, okay? So is it in the area of software? Is it knowing Microsoft Word inside out and backwards? That's really where you have to get. I had somebody message me on YouTube. So whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, I get messages all the time with questions. And what if I am not good at blank? Then you have to get better at it. How do you do that? Well, with software, you can go anywhere on YouTube for free. The attorney's not necessarily going to be impressed with certificates in Microsoft Word. I just want you to know it so well that that's not a barrier when you start your job on day one. Okay, remove those barriers, those things that need improving. Is it English grammar that is a weakness? Is English your second language and not your first? That may feel like a weakness, but let me tell you something. Let's play like you speak fluent Russian and that is your first language. Well, one of the cities, of course, the big cities, LA, New York City, could use a paralegal, even entry level, that speaks Russian or Spanish or many of the other languages out there. Don't discount that because English isn't your first language, perhaps, that value goes down. No, it doesn't. So, for instance, this may seem really weird, but in the state of Florida, not far from where I used to live, there's a city called Palm Coast. There's a large Russian population. So, hey, Stephanie, good to see you, girl. So it would be very valuable to a hiring attorney, and many other offices too, not just legal, if you spoke Russian and maybe Polish and maybe German. So don't think that because English is not your first language. There in Detroit, Michigan, there are different communities within the city of Detroit, just as there are in Queens and the 5 boroughs of New York. Many different communities. So there is a community, I think it's in Jackson Heights in New York, where there is a special dialect, Chinese dialect, called Fujianese. And many, not all, but many of the people who come over from China and start restaurants, they are Fujianese. Special dialect that is not Mandarin or Cantonese. So would it be valuable if someone's first language was Fujianese and that person wanted to be a paralegal, and English was not as sharp as Fujianese for them? Of course. And the attorney looks at that as, oh my word, I can now maybe tap into that community, and that will bring more business because they know there's someone there who can speak the language, and they won't feel as if they're missing something when the attorney's trying to explain something. I mean, that's how I would feel. So never put the fact that you know another language as your first language on the, diminish it. Never diminish it. It is so valuable. It may come in to be extremely valuable when you have that on your resume, that you speak that language as well. Of course, always put it there. I would be at a loss if I lived in South Florida because I speak only English. I would be at a loss. And any of the border states where attorneys really need folks who can speak Spanish. So take that into consideration. That goes in the strength column. Now, if English is your second language, how on earth do you get better at understanding when now you're going to have to learn the legalese, the legal language, which is different? Well, what I did was I didn't know any of that language. I had no idea what that meant, what any of those words meant. So I had to absorb it little by little on the job because I just jumped into a receptionist secretarial job in my first legal job. So I knew nothing. I bought myself a little dictionary. You can find those laminated pages that I've posted on the Facebook page and in the description box on some of my videos on YouTube, or look for it on Amazon. Okay, the name of it is escaping my mind right now. The thing that I talk about in my book, Legal Break-In, is that you have to be right at the top of your game with Microsoft Word, and maybe entry-level Excel and entry-level PowerPoint. Don't let that overwhelm you. Both are so easy to learn. I don't mean that you have to learn formulas in Excel. I forget about that right now. But there's the beginning, like how to set up a header, how to work within the columns. If you can learn how to add a column, perfect. You never know where that may be useful. Don't put it down on your resume unless it's all true. Okay? So think about what you've done in your other jobs and how that may be of value. Now, the other thing is, I want you to do some research on Google as to what a paralegal does. What are the paralegal duties in the area of law that you're interested in, or that there are currently jobs out there for, and that they're willing to hire for with very little knowledge at all. Don't worry about the experience. If they say they want a year experience, should you not apply? No, you should apply. But you have to come to that interview prepared to talk about some things that you've learned on your own. Okay? On your own. And how do you do that? Well, when it comes to the legal side of it, if you're looking at family law, a lot of people on the YouTube channel and Facebook page, Paralegal Coffee Talk, are very interested in real estate law, family law, criminal law, business law, and several others. And it's interesting how a lot of people are interested in the same area. Then go on Google and put in paralegal duties in family law. paralegal duties for criminal law, paralegal duties for business law. Really start to hone in on what do the paralegals do. I will guarantee you that if you're in a 2-year program or certificate program, that's not what you're being taught, okay? And that's what you need to know. So what I recommend is that if you're in a 2-year program or certificate program, that before you start applying for jobs, that you either take my class, Paralegal Inner Circle class, and I recommend both, you take the Cover Letter Secrets class. You can scroll through the feed on Facebook or look in the description box on YouTube. Paralegal Career Mastermind is the name of the channel, and you'll see links to both classes, okay, which are at an incredible price right now. So check it out. There's a lot of info about both classes. I recommend you take both those before you start sending out your resume and cover letter. Don't fall prey to hearsay. We use that term a lot in legal, which is not fact. Hearsay is, well, they're only hiring people with experience. That is not the case. But I want you to be more prepared, even more prepared than you will be with a 2-year degree and or certificate. Okay, you're not learning the practical side of paralegalism in either of those class types, okay? So that is it for today. I want you to, this is so important, thinking about what your strengths are and improving on those things that may keep you from getting the job, okay? And you're going to talk about these things in the interview. And that's part of the Paralegal Inner Circle class, preparing you for that the right way. All right, so have a great day. Good seeing you, Stephanie. Thanks for being here. I'm now a Tennessean. We moved to be closer to family. And thank you, everybody, for being here. Any questions, feel free, if you're asking them, sometimes Facebook doesn't show me your comments. Feel free to comment and I'll answer them later, or email me at paralegalcoffeetalk@yahoo.com with questions, concerns, and you never know, I may just, well, usually I answer you, and I may just do a video about your questions. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you in the next video on the 29th, okay? See you there. Bye.